Hello, I know it's been 2 weeks, but I'm gonna start putting out videos more consistently, I promise. So I've been in a creative rut and it's only been 5 days into September now, and I feel like I'm finally getting out of it, and it's because of my phone. I know it was because of my phone that I was in that creative rut. There was so much input, so much. I think of my brain sometimes like as a computer. But so much data going into my brain, not enough being put out. So it just felt like my brain was congested with so many thoughts that weren't even mine. So during September, I've just like cut down on my social media a lot and I started reading my books more. And this is the difference. Wait, okay, this is me being vulnerable because I hate this painting. I liked it at the beginning and then literally my brain was like, let's just mess up the painting because I didn't know what I wanted to paint. I was literally just painting facial features. And then, yeah, to some, they might like this. I don't love this painting for obvious reasons, but today I'm going to fix it with oil pastels because it's a medium I haven't used in a really long time, like since I was at secondary school. So I'm going to try fix it today um, without any sort of like sources or reference photos or anything. And I tried that the other day actually, and I limited myself to only using one paint color, and it's blue. But you can't see it on this camera. But maybe you can see the eye. Yeah. So I use different paint strokes, uh, different like thickness, not thickness. Some areas I layer the paint more, others less. You can see here I use way less. And if you see it in person, there's a bigger difference. On here, it just looks like one big thing of paint. But yeah, so not being on my phone is force myself to slow down, force myself to actually think my thoughts, my own thoughts, and output them in the way that I perceive them in my brain. Because when I realize when I'm on social media, because I'm getting so much information all at once, all the time, 24/7, I don't actually visualize things in the way that I know my brain would. Like I'm getting the information from everyone else, if you know what I mean. And then reading really helped me with that because when I'm reading both novels and like educational books, so I'm reading Alice in Quantum Land. It's about quantum physics. It's really cool. It's basically quantum physics, like really simplified and dumbed down, but still really fun. I love Alice in Wonderland. And then the other book I'm reading is I think it's Count of Monte Cristo. I haven't started that one. And then Wuthering Heights I just started. So actually reading just the words and getting to visualize them, I haven't done that in a while. I feel like I was reading a lot of like self-help books and like level up hustle culture books, and I just didn't really like the vibe of those. But those are the ones that everyone's always recommending. And then I realized the books that I actually want to read are most of the time they're fictional books, or they're at least like novels or like world building kind of books, because that's I realize that's what I like in media. I like things that it's about world building, creating a whole entire universe that's thought out and intricate. Uh, so that's what I look for in like TV shows and movies when I go to watch something like Avatar: The Last Airbender. That world building is insane. If you haven't watched a video about the world building of Avatar, you need to. Um, because not many TV shows really do that. I feel like it was one of a kind and ahead of its time for sure, for sure. But being able to do that with books, I realized that I hadn't experienced that in a while just because my life's been so busy. If you have time, you always have time if you make time for things. But I would tell myself, oh no, I'm too busy to like read a book. What? Reading a book, you can literally read like 5 minutes a day, and then doing something is better than doing nothing. And that's how we got this. So I'm gonna try fix that today, and maybe I'll chat with you guys, maybe I won't. Who knows? The next thing that got me out of this creative rut was utilizing the library and other sources of media that I don't normally use or that I maybe don't practice. So obviously I really like listening to music, and some here and there I make a bit of music, but actually listening to full bodies of work of artists that I don't normally listen to has really helped inspire me in different ways. Um, Not just in like the music landscape, but in like the art that I make and even some of the designs that I do, because they have very distinct feelings. Like Blood Orange's new album, I wouldn't normally listen to, well, I haven't listened to Blood Orange before really. And listening to that album is probably one of the most cohesive albums sonically that I've ever listened to. And that also inspired me to keep doing work. Um, and to just make something. That's that's what I love about cinema as well. Cinema and music, they're both big drivers in like when I decide to create things. Because if I really like a film or an album or like a single or something, I am really, really likely to then start making something else because I'm like, the way that that person's mind has worked to create something so intricate and beautiful and that resonates with so many people. I'm like, surely everyone has that ability in them in some way. It might not be through art, it might be through something else, it might be through maybe how they speak to others, how they care for others. Just like everyone has that ability in some capacity, because I feel like it's a part of your humanity in a way. The other way I got myself out of this rut was by doing one thing at a time. I am definitely my mother's daughter, though we both are always running around doing things 24/7 because we want things to get done as quickly as possible and as efficiently as possible. And I've realized efficiency isn't always, it's not always key. My voice just went there. Efficiency is not always key. Um, Slowing down and taking a moment is very important. My brain, because I'm always in a rush. But yeah, that was the other thing. When I found that by doing this, I have so many more ideas now than I realized. Maybe they were in the back of my mind, in my subconscious or something. But I think it was literally like I was cleaning my room without any music or watching anything, and I just found loads of leftover fabric, and stay tuned for that fabric because I had so many ideas for that. Um, and yeah, it opens your mind up a lot when you don't have so much information invading your brain all the time. Yeah. The other thing that kind of convinced me or motivated me to get out of this rut was Michael Jackson. Because if you know Michael Jackson, you know about him and Prince, and you know how he, if he had an idea, he would act on it as quickly as possible so that the idea wouldn't go to print. And I live by that actually, because the amount of ideas I've had, and then I feel like it's gone some like the amount of movie ideas I've had, and then I see the movie being made or like a movie that's coming up or a short film or something, and I'm like, that was literally my idea. That was literally my idea. How did you steal that from me? That's what motivated me to get out of this creative rut because there's probably so many ideas passing through my brain and I'm not even paying attention to them because my brain is just so preoccupied with things that don't matter. And then on top of that, I would also like to say, um, as a creative, it's very, very easy for us to compare ourselves to other people. And if someone else has already done an idea or our ideas don't feel original enough, it's really easy for us to just be like, oh, it's been done, like I can't do it now. But it's all about your perspective on the idea. No one's gonna make the same thing in the same way that you have. So never just like rubbish an idea because you've seen somebody else has already done it. If you know what I mean. Everyone's always inspired by something else, whether they like it or not, whether they realize it or not. That's where things get sticky though too, like with music specifically. But you might as well try to make the thing. You might realize that maybe you don't like that thing, or you just take an idea from the thing you've already made, and it won't ever be exactly how somebody else has made it. I don't think anyway. Because creativity is like a cycle, and it gets recycled. Everything's a cycle, really. I realized another thing that probably inadvertently influenced me to keep making art, even though I was stuck in that creative rut. Because the fact that I watched the movie Sing Sing this year, it's probably my favorite film. Maybe not favorite film of the year because Sinners came out as well, but it's really up there as it might have been my favorite film of the year, bar Sinners. Those two were amazing. But anyway, Sing Sing, um, it reminded me that I had the opportunity and the means to make the things that I wanted to make, and that I should be taking advantage of that rather than wasting my time with things that I don't really care about, if you know what I mean. Um, and the reason for that is because Sing Sing was made, I think, with a budget of like under $2 million. And that film was amazing because of the stories that were being told with it. They were stories of actual incarcerated people that were in the film. And that was just amazing to me because I think they used a model by it was a model that was used for the filming of this film called Jockey, uh, with directors, I think, Kodar and Bentley. And they made this model of paying everyone from cast and crew to the actors. Everyone gets paid the same rate. And that's what they did for their indie film, um, for it to be made, because making films is so expensive. And that just reminded me the people that really do want to make art, they make it work. And I was like, I don't even have those like obstacles in place for me to make the things that I want to make because I have the utensils to make the things. I have the reach if I wanted to share the things that I make. So there's nothing really holding me back apart from my own kind of lack of discipline or trying, I guess. I don't like to use the word discipline when it comes to art, but that is what it is, truly. And Sing Sing's amazing if you haven't watched it. It made me cry. Um, like I said, it's actual incarcerated people's stories, and they act in the film too. So that was crazy for me to watch. I loved that for them. Genuinely, I loved it so much. Okay, I think I might have messed this up again. I'm gonna keep working. On top of all those things, I started writing again, like for fun. I was writing a couple months ago for fun, and then I feel like I just stopped. I don't know why. Maybe it's just a lack of, maybe because I changed environment, because I came back home, but I just stopped writing for a while. And I was like, I don't know why I did that. It was really weird. I started writing again um recently. I just put some of it on Substack as well. My first post on Substack actually, living in an idea. Um, it was kind of based around that lyric by Frank Ocean and Siegfried, Siegfried, and living in an idea from another man's mind. Kind of touching on what I've learned so far in the book Alice in Quantum Land and quantum physics and particles and superposition, and then also just what the lyric kind of meant in the song about living in an idea from another man's mind and kind of living up to the expectations of society and things like that. So that was my first Substack post, and I hope to keep writing on there consistently because I really like writing. Writing is fun. So I don't even know why I stopped. Probably excuses again. I need like a spatula or something. I don't want to use a. What can I use? Piece of paper? I don't want to use a paintbrush. I feel like I'll ruin it. Also, if anyone has read The Artist's Way, um, let me know how that was because I want to read it. Oh, I'm scared. I probably will read it eventually, but I feel like I've been putting it off for a really long time because I'm scared. And everyone says like it changes your perspective on basically like everything ever you've ever done. Um, so I'm nervous. I'm nervous. Not scared. I'm just nervous. I'm not scared. Just nervous. Actually, on top of everything that I was just talking about, making things just makes me happier because when things don't come out the way I like, normally I just find it funny because I'm like, bro, you couldn't even make that one thing that your mind literally visualized. Um, and it's like, fine, I'll just try something else or I'll try it again. But when it does come out the way I like, I'm like, thank goodness. Um, but this isn't done. I'm gonna keep going. This is it so far. I might just make the whole thing oil pastel and go over the whole thing. I don't know. The color is not looking great on here because of the camera. That's it so far. I've done like the eye there. Um, I'm just gonna keep going. Oh, it's just fun to do. It's just fun. I'm also thinking, do I stick to just primary colors? I think so, because I have a little bit of green there, but it's kind of looking brown on the red background. So I might just stick with these purples. Look at the purples. I don't know. I don't know. Be white. I'm doing this with no references. This is all my brain. I kind of want to turn music on and then just make, like, move with the music and what I make. I'm gonna try without music first. See how it goes. Yeah, let's do it without music. Raw dog. I think I might make something similar to a dragonfly. If you didn't know, I love dragonflies and I want to get dragonfly tattoo. Um, I'm gonna do something similar to a dragonfly because I'm pretty sure they symbolize change and transformation. I don't know if someone made that up, but that's why I've been obsessed with them. And because when I was younger and I first went back to my home country, they were everywhere. They were flying about everywhere. And that's like the main animal that I remember being there all the time. They're considered a bug, but still. And I'll probably draw something of that kind because I've really been into bugs recently, even though I don't like flying creatures around me. Like, I don't love birds. I like what they symbolize and everything. The birds themselves, they can be away from me. But I've been really liking different types of moths. What's it called? Like a heterocampa? The really furry ones. I think moths get a really bad rap because moths are, what's that thing? Moths are like butterflies, just butterflies have pretty privilege. Butterflies literally eat people's sweat and blood. And we hate moths because what, they chew on a bit of cloth? Come on now. Moths are way prettier. Yeah, this heterocampa is like It's like a furry one. I saw one that was green, like pistachio kind of green. It was so pretty. And then other flying insects like ladybugs too. Ladybugs are so cute. They're cool and they're cute. They're cool. They're cool. I don't know if this is gonna come out how I want it to. Oh well. I would have done this with like a pen, but a pen's not gonna show up on oil pastel, so I have to go over with oil pastel. I might just do the outline of a dragonfly and then just like leave it. I don't know. Should I? Or do I go in with a darker color? I don't really want to go in with a dark color. I've only gone in with grey, like I really like grey for now. It's basically white on this blue. I'm not loving it, but we move. It'll be fine. Well, I tried. Okay, I think I'm finished with this one for now or for today. Just because I've spent like 45 minutes on this. So not too long. I quite like using oil pastels. Only stuff I really added was dragonfly, these little wispy bits, this, the star. Basically things I like, dragonflies and stars. I think it's just gonna keep changing with me. Like every time I'm like in a rut or bored, I'll probably pull this out and then just draw on it, kind of like a sketchbook, but like a sketch canvas. I'll just keep adding to it and adding to it. Our pastel is kind of difficult to use, but I'm gonna keep using it and hopefully I get better. Okay, next canvas. I've started this painting and it's kind of giving Alice in Wonderland in a way, and I didn't even mean for that to happen, but I was just kept picturing a door and then me walking into that door or like just seeing the door. So that's what we're going for right now. I'm trying to make the background more like textured and then I'll build up on it. This is it so far. Nothing looks that great on camera, does it? Anyways, it's the story of it that I want to convey anyway, less so than the artistic skill. By the way, I can paint. I have paintings that look good. This is like an ego thing. It might be my ego, but I'm gonna show you anyway. I can paint realistically if I want to and if I try. But this is more so just to get ideas out, if you know what I mean. Also, like the Alice in Wonderland vibe of it, I'm not surprised that that comes out a lot in the work that I do because I think it's like my favorite story ever. Whenever people ask me like what my favorite film is, I have so many. There's so many like in the bank, and I'm like I can't pick one. But the one that I always come back to whenever I'm like by myself and I want to watch a film or I'm sad or I'm happy or literally anything, doesn't matter the circumstance, I will watch Alice in Wonderland. Um, the Disney animation version. I also really like the Tim Burton version, but not as much as the animated one. The animated one, the thing is, most of the films that I love from childhood, I used to be terrified of. I used to be terrified of Alice in Wonderland. Um, Now I love it. And we have it on VHS, so it's perfect because I'll have it forever. Start collecting physical media because these streaming services aren't doing good for anyone and they're expensive. So yeah, we have it on VHS and on DVD. So I'll never go without it. But the otherworldliness of it, the constant feeling of being out of place or crazy or people not understanding what you mean is very, very me, very relatable, if you will. Okay. I literally have a palette here and here, and I'm choosing not to use them for some reason. For some reason, this one's like everything on here is rock solid. But yeah, I'm choosing not to use them. I'm choosing to just put the paint directly onto the canvas and then work with what I have with my paintbrush. This is the straw paintbrush, so it's gonna add texture and everything. Oh, hiccups. Okay, I don't really have an outro, but that was just me kind of messing around with mediums I haven't used in a while. And yeah, so that was fun because it felt like I remember the beginning of, I think, my A levels. The whole of year 12 was just experimentation, and that's where I thrived. I loved that section of year 12. Um, Year 13 was fun too, but just being able to literally put whatever you want down and then just do that over and over and over again. I loved it so much, and it felt very, very like almost healing. So it's fun to do like just in my own time. I'm definitely gonna do this again. Maybe not on camera, but I'll do it again for myself. And probably with different mediums as well. Because I do like using these oil pastels. I want to try do like a portrait with them rather than kind of just abstract or like a landscape. So I want to do a portrait. I think that would be cool. And because I have done portraits with oil pastel before, and they came out okay. And I'll probably do biro drawings because I really like biro drawings. Yeah.